Welcome to Triangle BNI. Today's show is brought to you by Oak City Tech. Folks, digital media world is loud and crowded. We know that. So you need professionals like the folks at Oak City Tech to help you negotiate through those tough times and tough messages and everybody out there talking. So go to oakcitytech.com, tell them what you're looking for. I know they'll be able to help you. Hi, everybody. My name is Mike Manning. Each week we bring you a small business success story from Triangle BNI. This week's, if you're not familiar with BNI, it is Business Networking International, our little slice of heaven here in the Triangle, Raleigh, Durham, and Chapel Hill. Each week, about 35 chapters and over 500 members get together, and our goal is to help each other grow our businesses. So sorry, phone went off. My bad. Didn't even silence my phone. Our small business success story today is Brian Wallace. He is a senior digital marketing consultant with Vivial Media. Brian, how are you today?
I'm wonderful. How you doing today, Mike?
Doing good. Glad to have you on. Love the jacket. So give us the background of that.
Well, I decided to be a little extra festive this year, and so I happened to come across this suit. It's actually a full suit, matching pants, and I came across it actually on Groupon, and I was like, I've got to have it, got to do it. So yeah, so I decided let's just make this season this year a little bit more fun.
Do I see Frosty the Snowman on there?
It is a snowman, yes.
All right.
Yeah, we'll call it Frosty.
All right. And where have you worn that out in public yet?
Actually, last night was the first time I actually wore it in public, and it was at a very appropriate place. There's a bar in downtown Raleigh that converts to Christmas for the season, so it's a complete Christmas bar. So my girlfriend and I went out last night. She has a Santa Claus dress, and I wore this full suit, pants and jacket, and we had a great time.
Uh,
Got many compliments, and probably just as many laughs and stares.
yes, because there's a lot of people, I'm under the impression, that would love to wear something like that, but they just don't have the guts to put it on and wear it out.
Well, it's funny you say that because when I didn't pay attention when I ordered it. I got it. I looked at the brand. It's called Brave Man is the brand.
Nice. And dare I ask what kind of shoes one would wear with said outfit?
Well, I didn't go the full extent, so I just wore just normal black dress shoes.
All right. Did
So
you win a
get
door
this.
prize or something?
There weren't any prizes last night, but who knows? Maybe some other event I go to.
So what else is sitting in your closet that's comparable to a cool outfit like that?
Actually, nothing. I, I don't have a lot of outfits like this, but I decided, what the heck? Let's have some fun.
All
Start a
right.
new trend.
Yep, there you go. Brian is a member of RD48. It's called Next Level. They meet Thursday mornings at 8:15 in Cary. Right now, they're still on Zoom, but if you want to meet some serious business people in the Cary area, that's a great group to meet up with. Vivial Media, Brian, digital marketing. I feel like seven things have been invented since we signed on the show here a couple of minutes ago,
Yeah.
and the world is always changing. What kind of questions do you get from people who are coming to you to find out, basically, I guess, to help get their message out, right?
Yeah. One of the most common ones is, how do I reach my ideal potential customer? How do I get them to know that I exist, to get them to call me, to get them in my door? And the simple answer to that is, get in front of the people when they're looking for you. And that's a lot of what I do. So internet is has really become the source of getting in front of the right people at the right time when done properly, when you do it the right way. And so that's a lot of what I hear. Or I hear a lot of, I've tried this, that, and everything else with the internet, haven't had much success. Why?
What I have learned from experts like you, and it is hard to do it yourself. Let me say it up front. I'm one of those. It's my one of my 22 goals is to jump out of my comfort zone, do a better job of posting stuff for me. But what I've heard from more people than not is just the consistency is the most important thing and probably the toughest thing to do.
Yes, especially with social media marketing. Uh, People, some I see people they'll post maybe once a month, every couple of weeks, maybe they throw a post out there, and then they say, "Why isn't this working for me?" So yes, consistency, frequency are two key components to internet marketing in general. Yes, and definitely with social media.
And when it comes to TV commercials, we complain all the time. Oh, there's this commercial. Lord, I've seen this 17 times today, but there's a reason why we have to reach out to people so many times to touch them, isn't there?
Absolutely, and in my experience over the years, I've been in internet marketing since 2007, but overlapped with that through the years. I've been in TV, radio, even newspaper, and so yeah, I have a lot of experience with those types of marketing as well. And in any way you look at it, with traditional media or internet media, it takes on average at least 5 views for somebody to even notice that you exist or notice your ad, whether it's on the TV, on the radio, or even on social media or on the internet in any way, unless they're specifically looking for you.
Yeah, and I think we all fall into the category of I can't sell with every post I have. I'm going to run out of things to do. But you've done this a long time. It's a good mix of selling and educating and just saying, "Hey, I'm here."
Very much so, especially on social media. In fact, when people are on social media, most don't want to be sold. They want you to communicate with them. And I think a good analogy is if you're at a cocktail party, think of your social media marketing as a cocktail party. If you walked in the door, walked up to somebody you've never seen before, and just started spilling everything you do at your business, they're going to be like, get me away from this person. But if you open up a conversation and have a two-way talk back and forth, like you and I are now, then people engage. And that's exactly what happens with social media is people want to engage in a communication with you, not just be sold your products or your services all the time.
I'm going to steal that, but I'm going to give you full credit. I'm writing that down now, but I'm going to tip of the hat and acknowledge you because you're right. And a lot, the other thing I found, and I don't know what kind of advice you give to your clients and how you guys handle this, but commenting is almost as important. And it took me a while to learn that when you're going through Facebook or LinkedIn or any of the other platforms, is just to comment on somebody else's post to start interactions and conversations.
Absolutely. Yeah, if you comment and again engage in a communication or conversation, that can open the door to be able to maybe offer some advice or just a little bit of guidance, and then they start going, "Oh, this person knows what they're doing," and they start asking questions, or you ask them questions about their business or their product or their service. That's a great way to engage on social media.
Because we want somebody to connect with us because if I comment on something you guys posted, that means that would tell you at least I'm remotely interested in that topic.
Absolutely, you're absolutely right. Yep.
And that's one of the things that's hard because it at least, and tell me I'm wrong because I know I'm wrong. When I got into Facebook, especially, I would click like a lot on friends of mine that would post stuff, and really the like doesn't do you much good, does it?
Not a whole lot. It does help you stay more visible, like even with just friends. If you're not engaging at all, you suddenly will no longer see posts from that business or that person. So at least a like or a love shows Facebook that you still have some interest and you want to see them more frequently. Um, but it's not as powerful as a comment.
I did not know that.
Yes. So have you even noticed looking through whether you're looking personally or through your business, look through people that you fought like your friends on Facebook and see that you'll see the vast majority of them you never see any posts from them, and you might think they're just never posting, but they are.
Oh,
And so that's really kind of how Facebook works now. And then with businesses, When you post on your business page, according to Facebook, only 3 to 5% of the people that like your page will see it,
Mm.
unless you pay Facebook.
And they
You pay
figured
them,
that out.
oh,
They
magically, a
they
whole
figured
bunch
that
of
out
people.
quick, didn't they?
Yes. Yep, pay to play, right? So that's something a lot of people don't understand. And then so you look at that compared to, or along with how many likes do you have, how many followers do you have on your Facebook or your Instagram or any of your social media, Twitter, and you think, okay, I have X number of people, but only 3 to 5% of the people are actually seeing a post when I post it. You're not reaching very many at that point all of a sudden.
And that brings up another question that, and I've been reading about that over the last couple of days as well, is how, and let's put this in context of a business. How often to post something? Because before you told me that 3 to 5%, I would think, why would I need to post this thing 2 or 3 times? But what you're telling me 2 or 3 times probably isn't enough.
Yes, and you don't necessarily want to post the same thing, 3 times in a week, but sporadically throughout the month, it's okay to repost. But you should be posting to be effective with social media marketing. You should be posting something 3 to 5 times per week, different content and different information each time. But it's okay to repost a little bit down the road. And again, sometimes it takes 3 to 5 times of seeing something for it to really click with people too. So that's okay.
And I have heard horror stories of people posting business stuff on their personal Facebook page and Facebook not liking that too much.
If you're going to do that, you want to share it. So instead of just posting business stuff on your personal page, um, post it on your business page and share it from your personal page. That's the way to be effective
Ah,
and get away that around with that. If you have a business, you absolutely should have a business page. So don't try to run your business from your personal page. Facebook definitely does not like that.
what are a couple, three components we need to make sure we have on our Facebook business page?
Absolutely, believe it or not, this is pretty common. It's not have it, but contact information. I see a lot where there's no contact information. Yes, they can send you a message through Messenger, but
Ugh.
sometimes people want to call or email. So, and if you have a physical location, have your
Mm.
address in there. So I know it sounds obvious, but I see often people don't have that. You want to have a lot of photos, videos, and a very clear description of your business, what you, what services or products you provide.
What and videos are hard to do. I think photos, we can come up with a couple of videos. Most people just don't do them. But let me throw another thing on there is the correct photo. And how many incorrect photos and why do people put the incorrect photo up there?
Right. I'd say most of the ones that put the incorrect photo, it's just they don't know any better, right? Or they just they're just posting stuff to post stuff. Obviously, you want it to be a good quality photo, not blurry. Um, be careful what's in the background, and make sure it represents what you do, whether it's a product or maybe a before and after. If you're in a type of business where you make something look better, pressure washing or remodeling or dental or med spa, before and afters are powerful.
Mm.
Those are really powerful. So make sure you're doing things like that. It's good if you're a family run business. Post pictures of your family together in front of your business. Let people know your family run. That's important too. Back to one thing that also it's important to have on your Facebook page is a link to your website. I forgot to mention
Mhm.
that.
Yes.
I come across people that use their Facebook page as a website, and that's really not very effective. There's not enough opportunity to really um, present your business in the right way. A website is like a resume, people's first impression of your business, and oftentimes they'll find you on social media and then want more information, so they need to go to your website.
And one of the things I've learned is if people go look for your website and you have none, that's a little ding on your credibility, rightly or wrongly.
I would say it's probably most cases it's a large thing on
Yeah.
credibility. To be honest with you, having a nice, good quality looking website is a big credibility factor. It also gets you seen in a lot more places, right?
Mhm.
People don't just use social media; they're going on the internet, Google and Yahoo and Bing. They're searching for your products and services. They might be searching for your business by name, and just finding a Facebook page makes anybody can kind of create a little Facebook page. Doesn't it kind of gives the impression that I'm not real serious about my business. I'm just kind of trying this thing out. That's the message it gives,
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
right or
No,
wrong.
yep. I'm with you on that. So from a business standpoint, are you a fan of an Instagram account, a Twitter account, anything else like that? Obviously for business, you should be heavy on LinkedIn, but if your clientele is on Facebook, that should be a component. But some of the other platforms, what are you guys finding out?
Absolutely, there, and part of it does depend on who your ideal clientele is. But absolutely, if you're thinking of marketing on social media, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook are very important. Now there's new ones in the mix that are depending on your clientele with TikTok and Reels and Snapchat and whoever knows. Like you said, something was probably created today since we started talking.
Mm.
A new social media platform. When I got in this internet marketing business, social media marketing didn't exist. I was selling Google paid ads when Google was first starting to monetize. Social media didn't exist. It wasn't a
Yeah.
thing at all.
Yeah,
So,
and I'm going to come back to that in a minute. One follow up on the other platforms. I think I'm too old to be on TikTok, and I have no dancing or music skills or anything like that. And Twitter, I'm not perfect enough to be on Twitter. And Reels is just now showing up on my feed.
right.
And what is that?
It's I perceive that as Facebook's attempt to compete with TikTok
Okay.
and
All right.
maybe to draw back some of the younger people that they've lost or are losing
Yeah.
into Facebook. I really that's kind of my perception of it. And and you don't have to be on every social media platform. It depends on who your ideal client is, right? TikTok primarily. I mean, there's a lot of adults on TikTok,
Yeah.
but their main user is probably teens to mid 20s. So if that's who you're trying to reach, sure, you need to work on getting on that. Um, there's a lot of people that say, "Well, I heard Facebook doesn't work anymore. No, nobody uses Facebook anymore." Well, it's still by far the most used social media platform in the world, by far. They still, I mean, yeah, has it declined a little bit? Yeah, but it's still even way more than any of the others, and probably most of the others combined. So Facebook, Instagram, Twitter are very, very strong. Doing them right is very, very important. The challenge of social media, if you don't do it the right way, it actually can hurt your business. If your posts aren't engaging, it can turn people away and they'll just ignore you. If you post things that upset people, like often happens on social media, right? Especially nowadays, try to avoid that with your business. You could really turn away potential clients by being political or
Oh,
whatever your beliefs are is fine. Keep it away from your business page. Keep that separate. Keep it all about business, not about politics, not about religion, not about all the other stuff that is sensitive to different people. Try to keep it all about business. I
yeah.
mean, have fun with it. Just keep the sensitive stuff off.
Yeah, and it's hard too for some people, and you're right. It'll turn off some folks if they disagree with you. And I'm with you, not judging what anybody thinks or who they vote for or their stand on anything like that. But in the business world, in social media, and even going back to the cocktail parties, and the network parties, networking events, you better pick and choose carefully what soapbox you're going to get on if you think you have to get on one.
Absolutely, very much so.
We are
Yes.
here with Brian Wallace, a senior digital marketing consultant with Vivial Media. Brian is also in RD 48. They are based in Cary. They meet Thursday mornings at 8:15. So if you want to meet some good folks in the Cary area, please join them on Zoom. Today's show is brought to you by Oak City Tech. Folks, again, we talk about all the things that could be canceled. You could lose Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, all that stuff if you do something wrong by their standards. So you need things like email list and your campaign of your message to get to your current and future clients. Pros like the folks at Oak City Tech can help you with that. If you go to oakcitytech.com, I know they'll be able to help you. Tell Drago and the gang that we said hi. All right, Brian, I know you guys have had to clear up so many uh, issues for clients that have gone to someone else that have come to you. Any come to mind where people get in trouble mostly when they're trying to do, especially a local media campaign?
Um, so some of the things that come to mind is when they try to build their own website.
Ooh,
Some people can do it really well. Um, there's a lot of templates out there that are cheap or free, but people don't realize that if it looks like if there's not much content, if there's not many pictures, if people forget it's your first impression to a potential customer, right? So make sure it has a really professional look. I see a lot of people that use the cheap or free templates for websites, and there's a lot of components missing on the back end that make you show up online. Things like sitemaps and making sure the sitemap is current, making sure your website has been updated within 30 to 60 days. Google loves to see that. Uh, Plenty of content with professionally written, not that has a good description with a lot of keywords for your business. That makes a big difference as well. So that's a big component. Social media wise, again, people are just randomly posting stuff to post stuff, and are mostly are very salesy. Here's this product. We can help you do this. Buy this, buy this, buy this. This is on sale this week. Buy this, buy this, buy this. This is what we do. This is what we do. This is what we do. And people get tired of that. So I see a lot of that as well. And it is difficult to come up with the creative posts that might create engagement, cause engagement, get people to like it, to share it, not just be like, hey, look, this product's on sale. I'm going to share it. No, but other content that is has enough interest that people will share it, like it, comment, things like that.
yeah. And a lot of times we forget to find out what problem this will solve for a future client instead of, hey, look at
Yes.
this great product and it's on sale today, but it does nothing for me because I don't have that problem. We forget to tell people if you have this, or suffering or, struggling with this product or service could help you. And we forget to tell people that.
Yes, you're absolutely correct. That is a big factor. And one thing that I do with everybody I meet with, and I offer it to it's out to anybody who's interested in kind of seeing what's your online presence situation. I do a free online presence assessment, and we have software that runs it and lets me get under the hood. The analogy I like to use is you take your car into a shop and you say it's not quite running right. Well, what are they going to do? They're going to plug it into some computers that says here's what's wrong.
Mm.
Same kind of a thing. So I kind of get behind the scenes and say, okay, well, here's what you have in place that's good. Here's where it might be setting you back or preventing you from showing up where you want to. And I've even had some where I sat down with somebody, somebody but sat down and pulled up their website, and they looked at it and went, "Oh, that sucks." I haven't looked at it for a long time.
Yes. Yeah.
um, really didn't pay attention to their own website, and so we helped with that. So there's a lot of things like that that a lot of people don't realize why they're not showing up as frequently online as they would like to, and I can show them that. And if it makes sense, then we help them fix the situation.
Now, your professional world is pretty much dealt with. Let me see. I wrote these all down: sales, sales, more sales, technology, more sales. I think I wrote it down. But I want to go back to one of your first jobs. I think it was back in 2002 with Yellow Book. And for those of us who are aged correctly, you did Yellow Page and internet sales.
Yes.
What was that like? And how in the I would ask you what has changed, but I think the word is everything since then.
Yes. So when I got into Yellow Pages, it was rocking.
Yeah.
Everybody used it, and that's where you needed to be found by your potential clients that need your products. Everybody, you know, when they on I need something, you might ask your neighbor, so that maybe not everybody. That's you get word of mouth out there, but everything else, you open up that big fat yellow page book, which a lot of the people on this Zoom probably have never seen one of those. They might see a little tiny thin one that they throw away right away, but back then it was used very heavily. So it was a pretty exciting time to be in advertising, in a very exciting medium uh, for advertising. It was a lot of fun. And then as that industry started to wane because Google was starting to grow and move rapidly, um, I chose to kind of jump ahead, and I actually was kind of tapped on the shoulder, if you will, by the leadership of my company. And they said, "Hey, we think you would be a great leader to kind of help us pave the way into digital." So I was actually in Yellow Book's very first internet marketing training class in 2007. And Yellow Book was a nationwide company, a couple $1 billion. So yeah, I was in the really early stages, and to be honest with you, nobody knew, including
Yeah.
the people training us.
So we obviously knew we had Google back then. What else were you able to sell on other than Google back then?
Yellowbook.com, which was just an online Yellow Pages. That was it. It was Google and it was yellowbook.com.
And that was only 13 years ago, right?
Right.
Or
Right.
15 years ago.
Yeah. And none of this other stuff. So none of the social media existed. Online display ads, they probably existed, but just for like big nationwide companies, not for local businesses. Um, Video marketing didn't exist. YouTube didn't exist, or at least not for marketing. It might have existed, but it was probably new. So it was very different, very different, and it's been a huge transition. And constantly, it's an ever changing sea of changes. It's
Yeah.
constant. Like what worked yesterday might not work tomorrow.
And when and how does a new platform get on the radar screen for a guy like you who's out helping small businesses get found? When are you aware of some of those?
As far as like new marketing platforms,
Yeah, like do they have to be out for a couple months? Is it a year? You know, what
um,
how did
usually it has to really, yeah. I mean, it's hard to give a timeline because
mm,
some of them explode quickly. Others kind of never really gain traction. So it's the ones that really gain a lot of traction and start gaining a lot of followers and users, and have an effective uh, tool or method of marketing and monetizing.
was there one you thought would last and didn't for whatever reason? Anything come to mind?
Um, Not off the top of my head. I'm sure
Mhm.
there's some out there, but I don't recall any social. I mean, obviously MySpace kind of that
Yeah.
collapsed, but I don't think they really grasped the whole marketing side of
Mm.
things, and monetize it, which is probably why they collapsed. But I know there's some out there, but nothing really sticks in my
Mm.
mind right now that has done that.
All right, so you've got 2 kids.
I do.
What are the rules with social media for them, or what were the rules for social media for them?
My kids are teenagers; they're 14 and 16. Um, I don't have a lot of real strict rules. A lot of trust, which is probably a mistake, but but my I've never had to really be too concerned about the choices my kids make. I'm pretty fortunate. And so the biggest rule though is you don't connect with somebody you haven't met personally, that you don't actually know. That's the biggest thing because there's a lot of fake profiles out there, and that's how predators work these days. So very important. And you know, even if you think it's another teenager that seems pretty cool, it may not be.
Yeah.
So you need to have actually met them, and don't engage with, don't ever go meet somebody in person that you don't already know. Those are the biggest rules I have.
That's actually real good advice. And do your kids have to accept you as a friend on whatever platform they're on?
I have not instilled that. Many parents do. It's
Mhm.
not a bad idea. It's really not. Just to be able to kind of monitor it a little bit.
Are your kids
And
are
things like
they
their
are
phone.
yours active on social media at all?
They are
Okay.
primarily Snapchat, and my son pretty much lives on YouTube
Okay.
watching videos. He spends his whole day watching videos on YouTube. But those are the ones, and a little bit. My daughter's on TikTok a little bit, but more watching stuff. And there's a lot of people. There's a lot of parents that talk about the bad stuff of social media. There's a lot of great stuff out there too. My daughter, we're Christian, and my daughter has talked about people that she follows on there that are Christian or just positive
Mm.
influencers, sharing good quality messages. So there's a lot of good stuff out there too if they choose to follow the right stuff.
Yeah. I'm with you on that. Done properly and in the hands of the right people, social media is wonderful
It
because
is
I mean, you can Google, how do I restain my dining room table that's white?
right.
And versus I need to restain my table. I mean, it sounds subtle enough, but it's massive. But man, there's 1,000 videos that would pop up. It's a huge help to be able to Google stuff on how to, if there's a of something caught in my sink drain, what do I do, or why is my sink backing up? Oh man, it's huge help.
Absolutely, for sure. There's a good lot of good stuff. You just have to be careful because
Yeah.
it's easy for the negative things to creep in
Yeah.
and become a part of it.
All right. So for Christmas Day with the kids, are they, let's see, 14 and 16? Mine are about double that. Mine are double that age and a little bit more. So I think I remember vaguely back then things started getting more expensive as
Yes,
gifts.
yeah, for the most part. Yeah, it becomes new iPhones and
Yep.
iPads and a lot of expensive things. And actually, this year is interesting. My daughter, she's the 14-year-old. Most of the things on her list, it was a pretty extensive list, which I like because it gives me options. But she had a lot of, it was mostly clothing.
Mm.
Um, really nothing electronic. They do have relatively new iPhones already, so they're kind of spoiled in that way. But some expensive shoes like sneakers and things. But other than that, it wasn't too bad. Now my son, his expensive things this year. Again, he didn't have any electronics. It was jerseys, like
Yeah.
we're Steelers fans, so a Steeler jersey, they're $90 to $120, and a U.S. soccer team jersey, they're $90, and
Yeah.
uh, Charlotte FC, the new MLS soccer team. So things like that. But yeah, the teenage Christmas lists definitely get more expensive.
The jerseys and the shoes are just, oh my.
It's amazing.
Yeah. My youngest son went through his jersey days back in high school. And it's like, really? You wear these like twice a year. Do you need all of these? And
Right.
you don't even cheer for that team. And of course, we grew up cheering for teams. Like with the Steelers, you were either all in or all out. And now with kids today, they tend to follow more individuals, which could cost you more in jersey money because that individual's with one team and all of a sudden they move to another team and, oh, dad, I want that one now. It's like,
Yeah, that does happen quite a bit. I've been fortunate. My son still pretty much follows teams.
okay.
With he's a big Steelers fan, of course, like myself. He's a soccer player, so in that there are several players that he follows. So as they move around, he wants a different jersey. Uh, he wants the U.S. national team because particularly the women's team, they're so
Mhm.
good. But we had the fortune when we moved here about 3.5 years ago, and when we moved here, the four of the qualifying games for the women's World Cup were here in Cary, and we went to three of the four games. So, and then they won the World Cup. So we had the opportunity to watch the World Cup champion women's soccer team play three games right here in Cary. And at that time, 9 or 10 of the players were from North Carolina Courage right here in Cary. So that created some extra interest there for him as well.
Oh yeah, and role models and spokesperson and world class athletes. I mean, they got it all on that team.
Yeah, yeah,
That a couple of those women's soccer teams will go down as some of the better US teams in any sport that have been fielded in the last 20 or 30 years, I think.
I would agree. Yes.
Yeah. Now, you have a daughter. I raised two boys. Don't know what it's like to try to buy clothes for a girl. A, I have no taste, and B, I can't tell colors. But I always tell my friends that have daughters is don't worry about college, Brian. Start saving for the wedding now.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. And as far as clothing, I learned a long time ago, don't buy it if she's not specific about it
Yeah.
because it's going back. So in the past, I would do gift cards a lot, let her do her own shopping. And this year, she was very specific in her list and went as far as that she created a Google Doc with a link to everything she wanted. So I knew exactly what she wanted, the size, the color, and go right to the page. Here's where I could buy it. So she really put some time and effort to make it easier for me.
And so, and hang on a sec. So you walked into the store and found one of the salespeople and said, "Here, I need this." Right?
I actually did that a few times. Other things I did order online, but yes, and it helps. It helps quite a bit. Because it's hard to buy for girls, teenage girls these days. Um, Even if it's the general style. I don't like that one, but I want this one. So yeah.
It's actually your daughter's a good consumer because she knows exactly what she wants, which makes it easier for you. I was in Walmart yesterday morning when I do my shopping real early on Sunday mornings, and my wife needed a specific style of mousse. So I took a picture of the can and I get on the mousse aisle. There was a lady there and I went, I need help finding this. And she goes, "Oh, it's right here." And I looked at put it in the bottle next to the phone and went, "Sweet. Thanks for the help."
Right.
I got no clue. There's like 8 things on that bottle that she needs, specific word, verbiage and stuff. I'm like, just let me take a picture of it. I learned
Right.
that early on. Best way for me to shop.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and there's pros and cons to that. You said unfortunately that she knows what she wants. Sometimes she's very, very specific. It has something in her head, but doesn't exactly know what or where it is. A good example is last year she needed some jeans. I said, "All right, let's go shopping." So we went locally. We went to Old Navy and Kohl's and TJ Maxx. Didn't have any luck, so I said, "All right, let's go out to South Point Mall." We went to every single store in that mall that sells jeans of any sort. Did not find the right jeans. I'm like, "Honey, this is what everybody's wearing. This is it." And took one last shot and went to Target. Lo and behold, she found exactly what she wanted. I'm thinking, first of all, why didn't I start at Target? Because usually they want the $100 jeans, right? And they were $15. I said, buy 3 of them, 4 of them.
Yeah.
Let's just get this done.
Yeah. Now for next time, right? Start at
Right?
Target.
Yeah, start at Target, right?
All right. You went to Ohio U.
I did.
You have a
And,
BS
and that's
degree.
the Bobcats, not the Buckeyes.
That's correct. And we'll get to that in a minute too. You have a BS in airway science.
I do.
A, I've never heard of that. B, what in the world is that?
Right. So my junior year of high school, no, I'm sorry, it was my senior year of high school. My buddy, who had graduated a year ahead of me, he went to flight school to become a pilot, and he took me flying one day, and I went, "Oh, this is cool. I think I want to be a pilot." Prior to that, I was thinking about going into business administration or something of that sort, business management. So I decided to become a pilot, and so airway science is Ohio University's fancy term for piloting. I think what happened was when they decided to create an aviation program, they were like, "What do we call it? And where do we put it?" So they plopped it in the College of Engineering and gave it a fancy name.
Okay.
So I have my original career path was being a pilot, and I have a bachelor's of science in that, and went on to become a flight instructor, which is one of the stepping stones to build enough flight time to fly for the airlines. And in that process, I just several things took place, and I decided that wasn't the career path I wanted. So I made a change. My initial change, I got into retail management, um, and realized that that's like way overworked and way underpaid. And people had been telling me for years, you should be in sales. You should be in sales. So I said, okay, I'll try that. And it was a good move.
Was there a family member? Is sales in the gene pool of the Wallace family tree?
Not at all. Not at all. Don't know where it came from.
Now the sales world is difficult, but honorable profession. Boy, retail management. Ooh,
Oh, that was
yeah,
that, that was that was a nightmare, especially this time of year.
yeah, yeah. Say bye to the family at Thanksgiving,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, and back then, I mean, this was in the '90s, but I was making $28,000 a year, and from Thanksgiving through New Year's, I was working 100+ hours a week, and I was like, this isn't adding up too well.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think this is a lifestyle I want.
About $2.12 an hour over the holidays, isn't it?
Yep, yep,
With no tips. So, all
exactly.
right. So sometimes I like to play along with famous alums from a college. All right. So yours, Ohio U, very impressive. I believe this interview should elevate you to that status here once they get wind of how awesome this interview was.
Right.
Couple of names would I'd have lost $1,000 on these. Paul Newman,
Yes.
Ohio U, you know, Ed O'Neill, the actor from he'd been a couple different shows, Modern Family, he was the dad.
Okay.
Um,
I didn't know that. I did
yep,
not know that.
Matt Lauer with NBC, no
Yep.
comment, no commenting there.
Right.
Do people know who Nancy Cartwright is?
I think some do.
Yep, she is the voice of Bart Simpson.
Right.
And most people think, wait, a woman does that? And
Yep.
absolutely. And those people have made some bank because that show was, what are they on, like 19 years now?
I think it's beyond that. I think it's in the
Yeah.
20s. Yeah.
Yeah. And for sports fans, Mike Schmidt, Hall
Mike
of
Schmidt.
Famer from the Phillies, third baseman. Was it Richard Dean Anderson, the guy that played MacGyver?
Oh, that one
Went
I didn't
there.
know. I
I
wasn't aware of
did
that
wasn't on
one.
my radar list when I went looking. And then the last one I found is excellent, Arsenio Hall.
Oh, I don't know if I knew that either.
You go from Paul Newman to Arsenio Hall. That is a diverse alumni base right there.
It is, right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Newman was a race car driver when I was working in Daytona. They had the Rolex 24, and he came there a couple times, and just everybody just said he couldn't be nicer. So,
Oh, nice.
North Allegheny High School. Give me a good high school story that you can tell. It's on public airwaves, so if your kids hear it, won't get you in too much trouble.
Well, North Allegheny was a pretty large high school in the suburbs of Pittsburgh. Uh, the area was kind of a upper middle class area, so there was a lot of kids there that came from quite a bit of money. So they had their own cars and things like that. So there were a lot of cliques. But North Allegheny had a very strong football team, one of the top wrestling teams in the country. But we also were very well known for our marching band. And at one point, it was known as the Marching 300 because there were 300 kids in the band.
Wow.
By the time I was in high school, it dropped down to about 380, I mean 280, 285. So it was still close. So I was actually in the marching band. I played saxophone. And my senior year, I was the drum major, one of two drum majors for the band. But a cool thing was we would go to bowl games every year and perform in the parade and sometimes at halftime. So I got to go to the Gator Bowl, the Citrus Bowl, the Cotton Bowl, and the Sugar Bowl, and perform in all of those parades. And so, like I said, some of them, a group of bands from the parade would perform together on the field at halftime. It's a great
Oh, wow.
experience.
You've been to more bowl games than most college players have.
Yeah, right, right.
Wow.
Yep.
Now, did you guys have to do all the car washes and everything to raise your own money?
Oh yeah, we had to raise a lot of money. Yep. And unless your parents just paid for it, but mine didn't. They said, "Get out there and get out there and raise it." We sold subs, sandwiches, and we did spaghetti dinners and candy bars and car washes and all kinds of things. Yeah, great time.
How much do you remember how much you had to come up with on any given year just so you could go?
I think it was in the ballpark of about $300, $400, something like that.
Okay.
Might have been
Well,
more.
But a
Yeah.
fun time, I bet, huh?
That's really where my sales career really started when I was in Boy Scouts, selling stuff to be able to pay for summer camp and
Oh.
weekend camps. So we sold apple cider and did stuff then, and that's where I really started selling door to door. You know, that's where I got my
Oh.
experience of rejection, knocking on doors. Hey, want to buy some apple cider? Want to buy a hoagie?
What did people wanna buy the most of?
Candy bars were always the best, but those I sold at school. I got pretty smart with that. I always had a big bag with me, and I carried them around. And I sold them throughout the school, and especially after gym class. I sold tons of them after gym class.
What was the going rate for a candy bar back then?
They were a dollar. They were a dollar.
Dang.
Yeah.
All
So,
right. Kids were coughing that up for a candy bar after PE, huh?
oh yeah, some of them every day. Yep. Fun times. Fun times.
Did you ever do the lemonade stand on the street corner in front of your house?
I did. Yeah, I did that when I was younger. And I used to go out and wash cars and mow lawns, and I delivered newspapers in middle school. I had two different routes. One was a local paper that was twice a week, and then I did USA Today in the morning. So I was always out there hustling something.
I never had the paper out, but I remember dragging the lawnmower up and down the neighborhood streets, just knocking on doors. Hey, $8, $5, depending on the size of the yard. You need your grass cut, and pretty
Right?
good close ratio.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
All right, give us one thing for 2022 for those of us that do our own social media for whatever reason. Give us one thing to think about focusing on that would make some sort of difference that's easy enough for us to do.
uh, a simple thing is post frequently, at
Okay.
least 3 to 5 times a week. But what I'm going to say is, if you're going to do it yourself, invest in some time and training to learn best practices for social media marketing. As I mentioned before, if you don't do it right, you could actually harm your business, not just be like, oh, this isn't effective. It could actually turn people away from you. So invest in that. And there's a lot of great programs. You can Google it, YouTube it. But there's a lot of local people too that do some great training. Many people around here know Jenny Midgley. She has a great program, and is really great at helping somebody build their own personal brand. She does some training, but make sure you're doing it right. That's the biggest thing, because there's a lot of people doing social media marketing on their own and are just messing it up and don't even realize it.
All right. And so after the 10th day, when they get tired of doing it, we beg people to call Brian at Vivial Media. We've had his phone number up there. Is that the best way to get in touch with you?
That or email.
Okay.
My email address is bwallace@vivial.net.
All right.
But you can always call me. That's my office line, but it rolls over to my cell phone. I'm in Apex, but I can do business with people all over the country. And we are a nationwide company, so we do have the resources to work with a small solopreneur, or a regional business, or a large nationwide company with a large nationwide target or marketing budget.
All right. So I believe it takes, if I remember right, it takes 21 days to form a habit. I believe that's the number. And I also believe through unscientific means that people last about 10 days doing their own social media. So once you get past 10 days, if you don't want to do it anymore, you certainly want to call a professional like Brian. He'll get you set up. But you got to be found. He's right. You're right, Brian. If you're going to do it, you may as well do it right.
Absolutely. So whether it's social media or Google or uh, online display, however you're trying to reach people online, I can help with that.
Cool. Wonderful. Brian, it's been a blast having you on today. Love the jacket.
Thank you.
And hope you get a chance to wear that out in public at least one more time.
I'll find a time. I'll make it happen. Thank you.
There you go. And folks, if you need anything, hit up Brian. A good resource for you to have, and also somebody for you to hire to get stuff done right. So, Brian, we've enjoyed it. Merry Christmas, happy holidays to you and the kids.
Same to you. Thank you very much. I appreciate the opportunity to join you today. It's been fun.
Thank you, sir. And we'll see everybody next time on Triangle BNI.
tuned to the Nissan Communications Network. If you tuned in too late, you can always watch each program in its entirety or download an MP3 audio file of it in the archives section at nissancommunications.com. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on Twitter, and like us on Facebook. Sponsored by StreamingGear.com, Carolina Apparel, and DeltaForce.net.